the boy everyone laughed at. There was a small town in Colorado, USA, where life was simple for some people and incredibly difficult for others. On the outskirts of the town stood an old trailer park where Noah Walker, a 17-year-old high school student, lived with his hard-working mother, Sarah Walker. Noah had never known his father, and ever since he was a child, his mother had struggled to provide even the basic necessities. She worked long shifts as a waitress during the day and cleaned hotel rooms at night. Despite working herself to exhaustion, there were days when the refrigerator contained nothing more than bread, eggs, and milk. Yet Sarah always wore a smile whenever Noah looked at her because she wanted him to believe tomorrow would be better. Every morning before sunrise, Noah delivered newspapers around the neighborhood to earn a little extra money. After that, he rode an old bicycle with squeaky wheels nearly 5 miles to Jefferson High School, one of the most respected schools in the state. Most students arrived in shiny sports cars or expensive SUVs driven by their parents. They wore designer clothes, carried the latest smartphones, and talked about vacations in Hawaii or skiing trips in Aspen. Noah, however, wore the same faded hoodie almost every day because it was the only warm jacket he owned. His backpack had been stitched together so many times that the thread was beginning to show. His shoes were old, and one sole was slowly coming apart. The moment Noah walked through the school gates, whispers followed him wherever he went. There goes the poor kid. I heard his mom cleans hotel bathrooms. He probably can't even afford lunch. Some students laughed openly while others simply ignored him as if he didn't exist. Noah heard every insult, but instead of reacting, he lowered his head and continued walking. He had learned long ago that arguing with people who judged him would change nothing. Unfortunately, Noah wasn't just poor, he also struggled academically. Because he worked after school at a neighborhood grocery store to help his mother pay the bills, he had very little time to study. He often stayed awake until midnight stocking shelves and then woke up before dawn to deliver newspapers. By the time he reached class, he was exhausted. During lessons, he sometimes fought to keep his eyes open. When the first examination results of the semester were announced, Noah ranked last in nearly every subject. The class erupted in laughter. Even some teachers quietly doubted whether he had what it took to graduate with good grades. The students gave him an embarrassing nickname, Permanent Last Place. The words hurt him deeply, but he never showed his pain. One rainy evening, Noah returned home after work and found his mother sitting alone at the kitchen table. She didn't notice him standing at the door. Several unpaid bills lay scattered before her. She held one in her trembling hands before quietly wiping tears from her eyes. She quickly smiled when she realized Noah had entered the room, pretending everything was fine. That night, Noah couldn't sleep. For the first time, he truly understood the weight his mother carried every day. He looked around their tiny trailer and whispered to himself, "I can't change where I came from, but I can change where I'm going." The next morning, Noah bought a cheap notebook with the little money he had earned. On the first page, he wrote in bold letters, "Operation, change my life." From that day forward, everything changed. He woke up an hour earlier to study before delivering newspapers. Instead of eating lunch with other students, he spent the time reading in the library. After work each evening, he watched free educational videos online using the public library's computers because they didn't have internet at home. Whenever he didn't understand something, he swallowed his pride and asked teachers for help. Progress was painfully slow. Some nights he fell asleep with books open on the table. Some mornings he wondered whether all the effort was worth it. Yet he kept going. His classmates noticed the change but didn't encourage him. Instead, they laughed even harder. One student, Blake Harrison, was especially cruel. Blake was the son of a wealthy businessman, captain of the basketball team, and one of the most popular students in school. He believed wealth determined a person's value. One afternoon, Blake deliberately knocked Noah's books from his hands, sending them into a muddy puddle in front of dozens of students. Everyone laughed. Noah quietly picked up each soaked notebook, wiped away the mud, and placed them back into his backpack. Blake smirked. "Still think you're going to become somebody?" Noah looked him in the eyes and calmly replied, "One day, you'll know my name for something other than being poor." The hallway suddenly became silent. Blake laughed and walked away, convinced Noah was dreaming. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, Noah's grades began to improve. His mathematics score rose from 43 to 68. His chemistry score climbed into the 70s. His English essays started receiving praise. Teachers who had once ignored him now noticed his determination. One of them, Mrs. Emily Carter, became his mentor. She stayed after school to explain difficult topics, loaned him books, and constantly reminded him that intelligence was not something people were born with. It was something they developed through effort. Those words fueled Noah's determination. The semester's midterm examinations finally arrived. Students confidently expected Noah to finish at the bottom again. When the principal entered the classroom carrying the results, the room buzzed with excitement. He announced 3rd place, then 2nd place. Finally, he smiled. And the highest score in the entire junior class belongs to Noah Walker. For several seconds, absolute silence filled the room. Nobody believed what they had heard. Then students rushed toward the notice board. There it was. Noah Walker. 1st place. Overall average, 98%. The same students who had mocked him for months stared at the results in disbelief. Blake refused to accept it. He accused Noah of cheating and demanded an investigation. The school reviewed surveillance footage, questioned teachers, and checked every examination paper. They found no evidence of dishonesty. Noah had earned every single mark. His success became the biggest story in school. Ironically, the classmates who once ignored him suddenly wanted to sit beside him, borrow his notes, and ask for help with assignments. Noah treated them kindly, refusing to seek revenge. He remembered exactly how painful rejection felt and chose not to become the kind of person who had hurt him. Toward the end of the school year, Jefferson High received an invitation to participate in the state's largest academic competition. Thousands of students from across Colorado would compete, but each school could send only one representative. Without hesitation, every teacher voted for Noah. The competition was difficult. Students faced advanced mathematics, science experiments, debates, and critical thinking challenges. Noah remained calm. Everything he had endured, the sleepless nights, the insults, the sacrifices, had prepared him for this moment. When the final results were announced, Noah Walker stood in 1st place. He had defeated students from elite private schools and wealthy families across the state. His prize was a full scholarship to one of America's most prestigious universities. When Noah returned home carrying the scholarship letter, his mother opened it with trembling hands. As she read the words, tears rolled down her face. For years she had worried that poverty would steal her son's future. Instead, his determination had opened doors that money never could. Graduation day arrived. The principal invited Noah to deliver the farewell speech. Standing before hundreds of students, parents, and teachers, Noah looked across the audience and recognized many faces that had once laughed at him. He smiled. "My clothes never determined my future. My family's income never determined my intelligence. Being underestimated never determined my destiny. The only thing that determined my future was my decision to never give up." The audience rose to its feet. Even Blake stood and applauded. After the ceremony, Blake walked over, lowered his head, and quietly apologized. Noah smiled, shook his hand, and accepted the apology without hesitation. Years later, Noah graduated from university with honors, founded a successful educational technology company, and became a millionaire. But he never forgot where he came from. He established scholarships for students from low-income families and regularly visited schools to encourage children who believed poverty had already decided their future. Whenever someone asked him the secret behind his success, Noah always gave the same answer. People may laugh at where you start, but they cannot stop where you finish. Your background is the first chapter of your story, not the ending.